in terms of posability on this kit, I'm going to actually take the arm off here because I feel like if I tried to do this with the arm on, it would just fall off anyways. Reason being that you have a ball joint at the top here. And when we get to the legs, you'll see why, but I honestly think this was the stupidest thing Bandai could have done for the arms. It's just a horrible, lazy job, and I really would have rather they had a peg and then a rotating joint at the actual arm itself. But you do get a 360 rotation there, and the polycap hinge will go all the way around. Now for the arm, you do get a 180 bend, no problem, and it'll even do that fine with the arm on because the shoulder armor isn't that thick. And as for the shoulder armor, this little flap moves that far out and then that far down. And then this part folds in more for the transformation mode, but it does tend to fall in just about any time you touch it. So it's a little bit looser than I would have liked. The arm also has a slight wiggle back and forth here, and the wrist can move at that white piece, and then there is a joint here that allows the arm to go, or the hand to go all over the place at the wrist, and then there is a ball joint, and the thumb is on a ball joint. The trigger finger is also on a ball joint, and then these three fingers are together, but they're on separate ball joints, and if you wanted to cut them apart, you probably could. While this is technically grouped in with the weapons and accessories, I feel like I'm just going to get it out of the way now since I have the arm off. If you attach this pack on the back here, the grenade launcher rounds, you can push it forwards like a key mechanism, and it'll open up this little door, which reveals a grenade launcher. There's also a gray joint at the shoulder here that allows the arm to move further forwards. Even with the collar on the back there present, you can still spin the head 360 so long as you're careful not to get the chin or the back armor on the head caught. And one thing I should note is that this bit here with the yellow slides down for the transformation mode, and sometimes it can get knocked loose. All you have to do is pull the head and the whole thing will come back up. The V-fins can go up, but again that's for the transformation mode, and the head is on a ball joint so it can go up, down, side to side, rotate around, and then underneath there is a hinge that allows it to do the chicken bob back and forth. The cockpit can open, but you're going to have to kind of pop the whole chest cavity up and then move it open just because the front skirt armor and the crotch piece kind of gets in the way, and then you can see a miniature figure of Camille down inside. The front skirt armor is on two separate ball joints so it can wiggle all over the place and move. And the side skirts, if I get the arm out of the way here, are on a double hinge system so they can go up, and then there's a ring that connects the side skirt hinge to the leg so it can kind of wiggle back and forth there. The torso has a ball joint that allows it to just rock back and forth, and actually you get a decent amount of posability out of that. The legs are built on a peg system which extends from the body outwards and then have a hinge which allows it to rotate around and move side to side. And I like this a lot better than the ball joint system for the arms because it doesn't pop out. It's a lot more stiff, true, but if you're trying to get a pose or get the Gundam to do something in action-looking sort of way, it works a lot better. And when you just bend it like that, you can only get so much of a bend. But if you pop the leg out a little bit, you can manage to get a much better bend, although it does take a little bit of effort. And again, it's more for the transformation mode, but it does help make it look like a greater bend if that's what you were going for. On the foot, there's a little bit of a wiggle back and forth that the thruster can get. The front here, with the foot guard, can go side to side and up and down. And then the foot itself can wiggle side to side, go back and forth, and then the toe can actually go up and down as well as move forward like that, but again, more for the transformation mode than anything else. While this is really more of concern when you have this in Wave Rider mode, the stabilizer fin can go out and actually can move up all the way if you really wanted it to. The action base that comes with the Zeta comes with 2 attachments, 3 if you count the foot connectors, and those actually just slide along the bottom here like they did on the Strike Master Grade base. But you get the connector here which holds in the Zeta in mobile suit form, or you can switch it out with the other one stored underneath, which slides out easily enough and then just pops in. And then you're going to take this back part, push it further back to the next connector, and it takes a little bit of force to push it in there. And that's how the Zeta is held on when it's in Wave Rider mode. And then you can just stick the other connector back on the bottom on the other side. As with many of the newer Master Grades, the Zeta 2.0 has a peg inside the hand, which makes it much easier to hold on to the various weapons. And he does come with quite a few, not a ton, but a decent amount. He comes with 2 beam saber handles, which can be stored in the side skirts, and there is just a hole on either one of those beam sabers that just pegs into his hand. It's kind of a plain gray looking, but it works. The rifle here is folded up, and you've got a AUG water slide decal there, as well as the yellow foil sticker, and then there's a green metallic looking foil sticker in the scope there. And the scope just pops up and the handle flips down, and then there's a peg in the handle that just, or the hole for the peg in the handle, and then the ammo clip can attach on the back so you can remove it whenever you want to. The shield is in folded up mode at the moment, and to unfold it, if you're going to make the Zeta into the Wave Rider mode, you just pull back and it's extended. The handle is on a double hinge here, as well as a connector that swings back and forth, so once you attach it to the Zeta's arm, it can go all over the place. And the Hyper Mega Launcher, which is bigger than the Zeta itself, I can scoot the camera back there, also has the same water slide decal as on the beam rifle, the AUG logo there, and the Hyper Mega Launcher does extend, as if it wasn't big enough already. This little bit here on the top can move up and down, and I believe it's like the laser sight or something. I don't know, I don't exactly remember, but there's a little cable piece there that's actually made out of plastic but looks pretty nice. The 2 upper handles can flip open, and then there's little bits there that you can catch with your fingernails and pull them out easily enough. And the bottom handle just flips out there, same thing, except for this one has holes for the pegs on the handle where the upper 2 do not. Well, you do get a figure of Camille down inside the Zeta Gundam. You also get 2 other figures, one of which is a crew member on board the Argama, and the other one, which I believe is for Marasme. So that pretty much wraps up part 2 of the Zeta Gundam 2.0 Master Grade review. Check back for part 3, where I will do a sped up version of the transformation mode, as well as give you guys my final thoughts on the Zeta Gundam 2.0 HD color version.